Hello, everyone. We're back here with another commentary as part of Blue Dragon 5 month, and we're going to go find Nemo and this is before, of course, we go finding Dory in a few years. So yeah, uh, so yeah, I've recently got some new headphones, so I'm going to insert a picture at the beginning of this. So yeah, as you can see, I look like a DJ. So this is DJ Magpie coming to you from the nest. But anyway, seeing as I'm here with Mr. Pixar himself, Blue Dragon 5, uh, I'll let him do some intros for us and get us all set up before we dive into this awesome movie.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, would you like to say your intro to the film, like how you were introduced to it?
Oh, okay, yeah. I vaguely remember this coming out. I remember there was something about Pixar doing Fish was the next thing that they were going to do. Because was this was probably after Bug's Life, and that wasn't it? Was this the first film after Bug's Life?
No. Before this was Monsters, Inc., and before Monsters, Inc. was Toy Story 2, and before Toy Story 2 was Bug's Life.
Okay, so this was like the fifth in the series.
About.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. As far as mainstream films go, but yeah, I remember that they said that this was going to be this was going to be based in Australia because it was like right near the Great Barrier Reef, because that's where it made sense. If you're going to do a movie about fish, it's a good place to start, and especially after this, clownfish became really popular around at least Australia. I don't know. I'm pretty sure everywhere, because this movie hit and it was like awesome. It took me a while to actually go out and see it. I think I had to wait until DVD or VHS to see it. Like I'd only seen this once, and I remember I got a question about it for Disney Trivial Pursuit when I was hanging out with my cousins one time, and I completely forgot Dory's name, and I was like, oh.
How do you forget Dory's name, Magpie? That's a war crime.
Oh, well, I'd only seen this once, and my mum even was mouthing Dory to me, so I was like, oh. And they were all like, Dory! And I'm like, I've only seen that movie like once.
He's getting a film in her name, man. Take notice.
Yeah, so now I know. And that was only like a few years after it came, well, a year or so after it came out, so. Yeah, so. I mean, it was a big deal out here, because it was going to be based out here, so. And Ellen's just awesome, so, yeah. But I'm sure we'll talk about that when we get into the film, so.
Indeed we will. My introduction to this was, I remember as a kid I saw it in theaters. I remember it was such literally an immersive experience. And I saw that, the underwater look of it all on the big screen. It just took my breath away, as it would if I was actually plunged underwater. Forgive all the underwater puns.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just an amazing experience, and this, remember when I got it on DVD, it was amazing. This film, many kind of forget this, but yeah, Nemo, for the longest time, it was Pixar's baby. It was like, it's big. It was the big selling point of Pixar for all, if not more than Toy Story. On the same level as Toy Story, this is the most recognizable Pixar film. Everyone says, when you think Nemo, that's when they say, okay, it's Pixar. And they say Nemo, oh, okay, yeah, I saw that film, yeah, it's by Pixar, and yeah, it's known. It's like in every Guinness Book World Record. It's like on the AFI film list. Everyone loves this film. It was Pixar's highest grossing Was Pixar's highest-grossing animated film until Toy Story 3 came out. Was
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it was. Also, it was like short of Shrek 2. It was the highest-grossing animated film of all time. Again, before Toy Story 3 came out. But yeah, it was spectacular. This film. If Toy Story 2 is the most important, this is probably the second most important for Pixar. It was like that. It was like opening the door. It was like they opened the door, and with this film, they latched it open. For all the awesome to just pour out.
Well, it showed that they could do more than just Toy Story, because I'm sure Bugs Life was pretty successful, but like it was nice that it was obviously nice for them to say, well, look, we're more than just Toy Story.
I mean, if Monsters Inc. opened the door, get it? Door.
Yeah.
If they opened the door, this is like the ocean of awesome that poured out.
Yeah.
Just show, this is just the beginning. And Shark Tale can eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shark Tale. I'm not going to get into that for this, just in case you're wondering, because I don't like to bring up that film more than I have to.
No.
But yeah, let me get into some background here, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead, mate. Yeah.
This film has an interesting background to it. Andrew Stanton was one of the big four at Pixar. He still is. He's now kind of branched into live action with John Carter. He also, when he did Wall-E, has some live action. He's mostly known for a writing position at Pixar, writing in the story department. Since Toy Story and A Bug's Life, mainly he was a writer on those two. He knows how to animate. He's done some animation. That's what got him into Pixar. He and Pete Docter were animators at Cal Arts, and that hired them, and they were at Pixar because of that, and hence they're working on the films, the many films. Like around the shorts period, they were doing some commercials for like Double Mint Gum and Listerine. But now this was Pete Docter was put in charge of Monsters Inc. So after Monsters Inc. done, you have a big act to follow. So after the amazing picture that's Monsters Inc., they have this giant wrap party, and you can see all the people on the floor like at their little victory coffee cups and such, saying, we did that. And there's Andrew Stanton there, and like Brad Bird's videotaping the event, and he's saying, it's intimidating, isn't it? It says, I'll be fine. Bring it on. Yeah, for Nemo. But the story behind Nemo is that Andrew Stanton's son, Ben, was born in 1992. While he was while Toy Story was being made. And at that same time his son was born, he went to a shark exhibit. Down to the aquarium that was in the Marine World. Now I think it's been renamed, but it was Marine World. You're seeing like the glass with the sharks behind it, like floating around you. The whole room's built shark, basically. So we saw that, and there's the father-son connection with the son being born. Anyway, 1997, he's been working on Bug's Life. His son's about, I think, like 5 years old at this point. So he says, I've been away working on A Bug's Life for writing A Bug's Life, and they're finishing up at this point, so basically it's being released. So he has a day out with his son, and the thing is, he catches himself, he's being overprotective. He's saying, okay, watch the curb, don't go up there, no, don't touch that thing, just stick close to me while we're across the street, hold my hand, that sort of stuff. And he realized in that moment, he was laughing at himself afterwards, saying, I'm missing every opportunity to actually be in the moment with my son. And that's kind of the emotional undertone of Nemo, mixed in with that ocean visual. See, I understand he's from Massachusetts, so it's a fishing town, Rhode Island. Also, I mean, he was also, the Gordon's fishermen and such.
Okay.
Anyway, so now we have the story in place. This is the first computer animated film with the giant water setting. It's a tough thing to take on. Pixar is known for how in-depth they are with their research and how prepared they are. I mean, these guys, they have the skills to pay the bills. They do all the research. I mean, they went scuba diving so they could get a look at what the underwater research. They did research they didn't even need to do. These guys. They're going underneath. They're like getting reference footage, getting all that sort of stuff. They're studying animation. They're looking at dogs for like eyebrow animation. It's a whole thing. And here's the funny part: that research paid off in that they did animation tests to see how they could do the fish look in the water. And they have real footage on the top. At the bottom, they have the computer animated footage to mimic what they're seeing of the real footage. And here's the thing: it looked too good. It was an exact replica. You couldn't tell the difference. It was that good. Of course, they had to scale it back a little because they don't want to just mimic real life. What's the point?
Yeah.
I mean, they just want to, they still make it animated, have characters that can emote, but still, this shows you how good these guys are at their job. And this film, again, the technology was starting to advance at this time, but still, every film Pixar does, it's harder than the last. And of course, being underwater, that's a challenge that was extremely hard because water is extremely difficult to do in animation, almost as much as humans. Now it's easier, but back then, it was a big task to approach. You know how many days it took to render a frame? Just a frame?
6 days.
Well, 4.
Okay.
So 4 days to render. 4 days to render a frame, just like 1 second. Actually, even less than a second. Just a frame of film took 4 days. So this film took like 40 years to make. So yeah.
That's amazing, man. But understandably, like computers have come way further now. But yeah.
Yeah. Originally they wanted Danny Elfman for the score, but he said no. Then Hans Zimmer, that's a no. Then they got Thomas Newman, because they didn't want Randy Newman again, because Randy Newman has been doing the score up until he did it for Monsters, Inc., and they wanted someone different, so they got his cut. I think it's his cousin or is it brother or cousin? I don't know, but a relative, Stan, would go on to use his music later on in other films, such as Wall-E. Great score to this film, Thompson. He really plays on the emotion of it all. He also did the score to Cinderella Man, the Russell Crowe boxing film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Again, I mentioned how this is the highest grossing film. And this was the first Oscar for an animated feature Pixar won.
Woo!
Yep. Okay. Overall, yeah, it's Andrew Stanton directed Pixar Animation Studios film, Finding Nemo. Let's dive into it.
Let's enter this water world. Oh wait, no. So, okay, everyone, get your DVD set up, and once you see that Disney castle, but press pause and then wait. Now press play. Now. Okay, so
Disney.
Yeah.
Now here's an interesting story I have for you about the opening of this film. It's very important. This film opened differently. It was the whole opening. This opening is very iconic. It's the modern equivalent to Bambi. This opening. I'd be correct in that statement, Magpie?
Probably, yeah.
The death of a family member. Yeah. This is like the computer equivalent to the opening of Bambi, I would say. But anyway, originally it wasn't just told chronologically outright to you. Originally it was told in flashback. So there were a few framing devices. Originally it was like Marlin was telling Nemo a bedtime story. And, it would kind of like be a mystery as to what happened to the mother, and we would find out. The problem with that is, and there would be no payoff. Like, okay, now it had no equivalent to the story. They wouldn't find out any new information. It'd just be it would give credence to what we had earlier, what we'd had all along, but really it's not much. So then it played out like this. It started with just flashbacks throughout the film. It started with, how Marlin met Coral. Then them looking for a home. Then the barracudas around the vicinity after they look at the eggs. So basically, this opening was always the same. It's just spread out differently throughout the film, and the ending was awesome. I'm going to get to how awesome that ending was. It just ended with it was just intercut with the scene where he's, they all swim down and tip over the boat. Well, I mean, tip over the boat, yeah. Originally, it was intercut with him facing the Barracuda, which is done really well. I'll get into that later on how well that worked out, but still, it's...
Yeah. But yeah,
still effective, just playing out like this.
Yeah, you've got you got to admit that this opening is I think everything's going to be fine. It's Disney movies, so you're not expecting that type of thing to happen.
I love all the subtle things that are happening in this opening, like the naming of the eggs. Like she wants to name one of them Nemo.
Yeah.
Also, notice how close to the ocean they are. This is how unafraid Marlin is at this point. He's got on that close to the surface of the ocean.
Mm.
You know, and also it's like really close. He's basically in the ocean right now. I mean, not like towards the. He's not really towards the reef that much.
Yeah,
he's closer to what Andrew Stanton really loved. As a kid, he would like look, like go snorkeling. He would just see like that giant gap opening. That bog is like anything can be out there. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. Just that, like, wow, that it just drops. And now here's the Barracuda. Would you like to know why they're clownfish, Magpie?
Because
out of all the fish in the sea, why clownfish?
Yeah, why clownfish? Because that's interesting.
Well, Andrew Stanton, he knew nothing about fish going into this film, so he looked at a coffee table book, and one of the first fish he saw was these two clownfish peeking out of an anemone, and it just interested him. They look friendly, just these guys kind of poking out of the anemone. It's really appealing fish. There's really not much to it. I mean, there's kind of really want to read into it. I guess a fish that draws into the safety of the anemone.
Yeah.
He said there was no forethought for that, but it's a good thing. It's a smart thing to point out.
Yeah, because they're a pain in the neck to take care of.
Yes.
So that's why, unfortunately, there was everyone bought after this movie bought a clownfish, named it Nemo, and unfortunately, quite a few of them died.
Yes.
But
well, this is a big image for the film, by the way, and this moment right here when he's finding Nemo. Sorry. Yeah, there's just this. This is always the main image of the film for the creators. Just Marlin holding the little egg that's Nemo, and this is Thomas Newman's theme he brings back throughout the course of the film. It's called the egg theme. Just him finding Nemo, and yeah, there's that crack in the egg, which is a subtle detail I really think really translates well.
Yeah.
That's why he has a damaged fin.
Well, this also it's great that it's set in the Great Barrier Reef, because the Great Barrier Reef stretches quite a long way. I should mention this. It goes from quite near the top of Queensland, which is right on the east coast of Australia, so right near the top of Australia, possibly even further, and goes down quite a ways, nearly all the way to New South Wales. It's huge. It's one of the very few natural things you can see from the moon. No, not from the moon, from outer space. Sorry.
Yeah. It's Alexander Gould doing the voice of Nemo, doing a good job for a kid actor, Also, another thing about the flashback, two things. One, it was much more horrific, the eggs being eaten. You actually saw the eggs being eaten in that in the opening flashback. It was like it was like really horrific yet subtle. It was like the tail of the Barracuda is coming out of the hole where the eggs are being kept, so you know what's happening. And like it's Marlin being witness to this. It's really sad. So it was a little darker in that flashback too, and more tension filled, but it was there. Also, the main point of why the flashback wasn't used is that throughout the film, you just see Marlin being overprotective like he is right now. And he'd be like that throughout the film. We wouldn't know why. So it's kind of smart just to put it all in the beginning. So now we're with Marlon throughout this journey, and he's more of a likable character. So that was a good move on their part. Yet flashbacks are still pretty cool.
Yeah, I like flashbacks, but personally, I think it works better this way.
It does. I was saying, like, the way it was weaved, like intercutting it with something just to kind of set the mood, or like kind of go into Marlon's memory. It was a good move to tell it all up front. And here's something every parent kind of feels: the whole worry about your child. You know, with this damage feeling, there's something about the kid that's not really all up to snuff. You kind of blame yourself for a little.
Yeah.
Would you like to know how they did the? Would you like to know a secret about the animation? What? Do you know how they do the surface of the ocean? How they make it all wavy? They basically take the sand, and they basically freeze it. It's basically just the sand, but it's not moving. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm sorry. It's like they take the. I'm sorry. I mean, that's how they use the sand. They take the waves, but they freeze it to make the sand.
Ah.
Sorry, I meant that. That's what I meant. Yeah. Also, the anemones, it's basically, it was very hard to animate. It's basically, they took Sully's hair simulator, and they just made the hairs fatter and thicker, and they just kind of, just made it more anemone-like. That's how they use it. It's basically, you move a ball through the fur and simulate the movement, so you don't have to animate every tendril.
I'm not sure. Do you guys have flathead over in America?
Do we have what?
A flathead. That's the sorry. That's the one of the fish that just showed up. The kids were swimming on top of him, and it sort of came out of the sand there.
Might be in an aquarium. I'm not sure. I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, if you, well, that's an Aussie fish, and they taste quite nice. I've actually had some. It's really good, nice tasting fish.
You're a sick man.
Yeah, flathead. So obviously.
Oh, by the way, this joke, Albert Brooks loves. Albert Brooks is obviously he's very comedic, very good for the role. I love Albert Brooks as Marlon. Originally, he was played by William H. Macy, who basically he recorded all the lines for the movie, and they paid him for it, so don't worry about him. But they kind of cut him out of it. He wasn't quite clicking, and they found Albert Brooks, and when he recorded lines, just everything clicked. So when Albert Brooks improv'd all these telling a joke wrong, and he did so many takes of it, it's hilarious. And the one that cracked the creators up so much they couldn't use it because they laughed in the take, and they could never get him to do the same thing again. It was this: he's telling a joke. He says, like the mollusk walked up to the sea cucumber and says, "Oh, he didn't walk." He just yells at himself, "Oh, he didn't walk," and they lost their minds, and they couldn't use it. The take. It's Lee Unkrich who laughed, by the way. So it's his fault.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to step away for a minute. Be right back.
Well, these little kid fish. Tad was Jordy Ramp. That's Joe Ramp's son. Eric Persullivan. That's Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle. He was Sheldon. And Mr. Ray. Yeah, Mr. Ray is voiced by Pixar story man Bob Peterson. Very funny man. Bob Peterson and Lee Unkrich had a lot to do with this movie. They were co-directors and big on the story department. They had a lot of great ideas, and they really shaped this film. They've come into light since then, in big ways. Bob Peterson, the co-director of Up, and he's directing The Good Dinosaur. And take Lee Unkrich, who did Toy Story 3. He directed Toy Story 3, so they've come a long way. Lee Unkrich was the editor since the first Toy Story. He's been editor, promoted to co-director, and this is co-directing on this.
Oh, I forgot about this moment. It's so beautiful, and they got it so right. It's unbelievable.
All these kids moving on Mr. Ray's back. That's
no, the coral and everything. They go over the top of it and everything.
Oh yeah, it is beautiful, and a lot of these effects they get for the lighting. It's a mix of many minor lighting cues. Like it's like 50 shades of light on there. It's like murky, blue, the key light. That's these moving, dancing things. And the sand light, just kind of that put in the sand water. It's a mixture of a whole bunch of lights to get that beautiful look there. But all these little kidfish on Mr. Ray's back, it's hilarious that he sings.
Yeah.
And originally, Mr. Ray was a neighbor. Then he just decided, John Lasseter kind of gravitated towards the enthusiastic teacher, science teacher. But yeah, Brent Parker animated all those individual kids on Mr. Ray's back. So good for her. Good for her. She's Kari in The Incredibles. Yeah. It's a fun gag, the sending children to a literal school of fish. But it's also, it's kind of proven prevalent in the Pixar films. This kind of the big struggle of, you send your kid off to school and you kind of worry it's like that, send your kid to preschool thing. See, I remember when I sent you to preschool. It's a tough thing, and Marlon has to come to grips with that by the end of this film. His son going out there. Just it's an emotional thing for parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, just showing. You have to show from Nemo's perspective how great the ocean is with that little travel sequence you highlighted.
Yeah,
that shows how different, how opposite an experience Marlon and Nemo have. Because originally that was punctuated where we saw Marlon frantically chasing Nemo, and we saw him experience all the scary things, quote unquote scary. He just thought it was scary. Like he saw a shadow of some fish and he was like hiding. But yeah.
Oh.
I like how Nemo's not. Yeah. I like how Nemo doesn't instantly go for the mischief. He's like taking that moment to pause. We know Nemo wasn't going to, but it's.
Yeah.
Still, he's a kid. It happens. Oh, now this "I hate you" line. This is one of the first things. It was taken in and out of the film. Lee Unkrich, he decided to put it back in the film to kind of give that uneasy parting moment for Nemo and father. Yeah. It's a shocking moment because you feel bad for Marlon. He lost his wife. Now the kids hates him. So it's like a little "I hate you" moment. Kids don't really mean it, but it's just that moment. It's not crazy about how you're acting, overprotective and such. Nemo's going to touch the butt.
Yeah.
It's a simple gag.
Yeah.
And that's that's basically what Andrew Sand saw as a kid, just that drop off of where you see where the coral reef ends and when that boat in the ocean begins, that kind of drop off point. I like just the little sound design and how I love how they got the physics of the boat just right for this. Like it's going up and down. It's just so detailed. Here we go. There's the dentist.
You sure it's the dentist?
It's him. No, he is P. Sherman. Remember? And then,
P. Sherman, 33 Wallaby Way, Sydney. By the way, there.
Look at this camera the guy's about to take Marlon's picture with. Has the A113 on it.
Wow.
See right there. Right before he takes it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm ahead of you, so sorry.
This is every parent and child's worst nightmare, being separated by like an unknown force. It's a scary thing. It has to be a traumatic event to kind of motivate Marlon to go after Nemo so vehemently, because he's going literally across. He's going across a big distance to get Nemo back. He's going through the EAC, going to the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah. Yeah, from the Great Barrier Reef to.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
To Sydney. That's quite a long way. It's not a short trip.
Yeah.
And I doubt he would be going there on a boat. So I imagine he's taking the boat back to at least the Gold Coast.
Yeah, it's just that this whole journey builds that bond. I mean, like every parent's like, I will die for this. I will die for my child. That sort of thing. And also the mast setup was nice when it was falling. But yeah, it's just. It captures such a real emotion, like the sheer panic. Like
Dory showed up.
Yep. Ellen DeGeneres. Let's
Yeah.
You
she did such a great job with this, and she and on her show, especially promoting the trying to get the next movie made, and it's actually quite surprising. It's taken so long to get that made.
Yeah. Yep. She knows how to. Interesting. Kind of took notice that she knows how to play short-term memory well. She just keeps going from subject to subject. You know, it's on her show. That's something he took notice of, and she's just literally perfect for this role. She was the only one he had in mind for the role. He called her and says, "Look, Ellen, I am going to be in such a pickle if you don't help me. Will you please do the role, please?" She was enthusiastic. She loved the character. And when Bob Peterson first met her, you know what happened?
What?
He dropped his lunch on her. And he's like cleaning her shoes. Said, "Bob, step away from the shoes." Not me. It was just, she took such a notice. She knew everyone's name in the production. She was that nice.
Yes, she is a very nice woman.
Dory's kind of his surrogate child throughout this movie. You know, she's kind of like showing his parenting side of things. You know, she also has to keep him alive and kind of get him to the journey that I have to start trusting Nemo.
Mm. I know, funny, I'm a clownfish. I love that line.
It is funny. Just the fact, such a great misconception. Everyone thinks he's funny because he's a clownfish. That's smart writing right there. Yeah, the short-term memory gag. How do you feel about that? How great is that?
It's a great gag, and
yeah. By the way, this always made me jump in the theater when I was a kid.
What?
When I saw Bruce the Shark, he just appeared out of nowhere.
Named after Jaws.
Yep, I knew it was coming. Because I knew it was in the trailer, and I didn't see it coming in that moment. I was like, shark! And look how huge Bruce is in comparison to our protagonist here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Played
by an Australian actor, Barry Humphries.
Oh! Yeah, you know who Barry. You might know who Barry Humphries is best known for a role for.
I hear he's like the Robin Williams of Down Under.
Not really. Have you ever seen Dame Edna?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, you do know who Dame Edna is.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well. Okay. Well. Barry Humphries does a great bit and does a lot of performances as a woman named Dame Edna.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
Okay, I think I remember it slightly.
Yeah.
There's like I see Marlon's kind of fear and the trauma and fear of sharks because his shark killed his wife. This guy
No, it was a barracuda.
Well, isn't barracuda somewhat of a shark?
Nope.
It's not at all a shark?
No, it's a barracuda.
Huh. Okay. Guess I'm not too knowledgeable about fish either. I'm just
No.
I always kind of assumed the barracuda was kind of shark. It was somehow related to a shark, but okay, it's fine.
I don't think so.
All right, I'm sorry.
Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm not a...
Sorry, we're not marine biologists. Sorry.
No.
But just the trauma. This is a bad situation. 3 giant sharks. Little fish go in the room with 3 giant sharks. That's intimidating. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it took 2 months to get those fish movements down pack. Yeah, animation's tough for anyone who wants to get into the field. At least it's really time consuming. And just let's take a moment to acknowledge sharks are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to also point out, okay, you've got, I think it's...
Eric Bana.
You've got a hammerhead, you've got a hammerhead shark, you've got the Jaws one, which is obviously a great white.
The hammer...
And hammerhead, that's what the one...
Yeah, Bruce Spence does the voice of Chum. That's the one with the hook through the nose.
Yeah, which I believe is a tiger shark.
Yes. And
and
Eric Bana, Hulk. This is right before Hulk.
Oh,
The
okay, yeah.
voice of the hammerhead shark.
Yeah, well, if you don't know this, hammerheads are actually quite well known for hanging out in the Sydney Harbour.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So never go swimming in Sydney Harbour because you will get eaten by a hammerhead.
This is funny. I'm just noticing this now. Like underneath Marlin right now, it says knives.
Oh yeah.
It's just like an uncomfortable situation. He's telling a joke to save his life, literally right now. But yeah, like it's not really that funny. But anyway, yeah, it's really endearing how driven Marlin is to find his son. Because again, it's that drive we all kind of wish if we are in a bad situation, we kind of wish our parents would step up to kind of be that, be the Superman. Our fathers to be Superman in some way. Do the heroic thing in the end when it counts. But still, it's just the drive. It's just such a drive, parent finding child after child was taken. It's an instant connect with audiences. This is like the perfect Father's Day movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
This is the
intervention.
Yeah, this is the second use of blood in the Pixar film, by the way. A lot of people forget it's used in A Bug's Life first.
What?
Blood.
Oh. Yeah,
because a lot of people think this is the first use of blood in the Pixar film, but it's not.
No,
the mosquitoes drinking at the bar.
Yeah.
This whole sub chase was pitched by Jim Capabianco. He originally it was just set in the minefield, and the sharks just living dangerously. They got up for the thrill of playing volleyball with mines.
Mm.
He was just set outside the sub, but now it's inside the sub.
Mm.
I love the idea of the sharks not trying not to eat fish. What do you think of that?
I don't. I think it's a funny idea. I'd like to. It's really interesting that this is supposed to be a sub, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Off the coast of Australia. Sunken. Okay, all good. Okay, now
what's happening now for you on the screen?
Oh, 22. Oh, okay. I know actually which sub this is supposed to be. Now I'm sure this is just not exact. I'm sure this is not true. But there is a famous sub that was wrecked not too far from Sydney. It was a Japanese sub because they were using mini subs, which this obviously is not. Actually, I'm only bringing this up because I was watching a documentary on it recently. There were it was thought to be sunk outside Sydney Harbour, and it was actually found there recently because it was like there was 3 of these mini subs that were sunk out in Sydney. 2 of them were found in Sydney Harbour itself, and only recently one was found in just outside the harbour. Yeah, and one of them was I just saw the 22, but it's actually 24. But
what's happening for you on the screen right now?
Yeah, Nemo's just figured out where he's at. He's in a fish tank.
Hey, did you see Buzz Lightyear?
No, I didn't see Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, is he outside the toy chest? Is he?
Yeah, he's on the floor of the toy chest.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
A few things. I know it's kind of past, but just a few things to briefly bring up. The particle system, the Rust particle system for the whole film is impressive. It was a tough thing, and Oren Jacobs, working on those explosions and the particle system, very tough thing. And I like Dory's little line about escape.
Yeah, it's
the beautiful detail and the shining gag, and such a great chase overall.
Yeah.
Originally, she was cut by a tooth. Actually,
Yeah.
Like going around the shark's mouth, she was cut by a tooth. I like what they went with, just being clocked by a pair of goggles.
Yeah.
This. Oh, that was a classy fart joke, by the way. I know it's past, but just the whole.
Yeah.
This.
Sorry, I got to step away for a sec. I'll be right back.
This fish tank is based off of Andrew Stanton's Dentist. You always look forward to seeing the fish in the tank. And the inspiration for this this whole fish tank is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It was a it's just these. It makes sense. It's this great logic to it that if these fish were trapped in this like a four roomed tank, they would go crazy after a while. There's this they turned to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's funny. And this is the first real use of adult humans, by the way, with the dentist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they got an all-star cast here. Everyone said yes. Everyone they wanted said yes to this tank gang, as they've been deemed. That's Stephen Root as Bubbles.
Yes.
Gordon from Dodgeball. You got Allison Janney as Peach. Joe Ranft is Jock, the little what is it? Shrimp? No, not shrimp. It's
the yellowfish.
No, the little crab-looking guy. The
oh, okay.
Yeah, I keep saying like shrimp, but I don't know, something like a little tiny, it's like a tiny sort of crab or something. I don't know. And that's Austin Pendleton as Gurgle, and most people know him as a Doc Hopper's assistant in the Muppet movie. They wanted to use him since Toy Story because he's so awesome, and he is. Vicki Lewis as Flo and Deb. That's Jeffrey Rush as Nigel, the bird.
Oh, okay.
Gull. And Brad Garrett is Bloat.
Quite an all-star cast that they've got now.
All great people. I hope they come back. Of course, he hasn't arrived yet. We'll see.
Oh no.
Yeah, the best fish out of all of them.
Lost you there for a second, but we're back. So you were introducing all the guys.
Yes.
And you were up to whoever you said you were up to.
Yep, the best fish of them all, Gil, voiced by Willem Dafoe.
Oh yes, Willem Dafoe. Yes,
John? Sorry.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe. Love Willem Dafoe in every movie he's in, from Boondock Saints to even Spider-Man.
Yep. Even Mr. Bean's Holiday.
I haven't seen it. I didn't know he was in Mr. Bean's Holiday. I'm going to have to watch that now.
Yeah, he's the director. Yeah, I mean, he didn't direct it. I'm saying he plays the director in the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. John Lasseter heard a bunch of tapes, but when he got to Willem Dafoe, he just said, "Stop. That's who I want."
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of the Bad Finn connection with Nemo. He sees, well, Bad Finn never stopped me, as he's swimming by. And that's Nemo's arc really self-reliance. That's his whole arc, because he wants to be a little more independent. His father kind of come around, and Nemo's arc is going to be seeing that, his father has a point with some of this. There is a danger if you're too carefree. That's Nemo's realization in this tank journey goes on. By the way, the transitions in this film are really nice, and that's attributed to Leon Cridge and the editing team. With these transitions, like, he's saying, "My name's Nemo," and you see Marlin dreaming, saying, "Nemo, where are you, Nemo?"
Mm-hmm.
So, they're on the sub right now. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, the creative team, the brain trust, they love the line. Ellen had this line, they love it. It's called "The Sea Monkey Has My Money." She says that when she's first waking up there.
Oh, well, no.
It's just like one of those, like an old Disney movie line, like, "The monkey's got my money, stop him." The Sea Monkey Has My Money. It's an homage to a Kurt Russell monkey movie.
Oh.
Yeah. Where's the mask? Look how realistic all this, the sets in here look.
Yeah.
And this darkness.
I think it's weird that they thought there was a series of mines just outside the Great Barrier Reef.
Well, I mean,
I guess during World War II there might have been.
Yeah.
But.
Well, I guess they're just figuring like all the Titanic sunken ships and such. Maybe some more. Well, there are some minefielded areas. I don't know where, but I just know there are some that do exist. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. So catchy. This thing took a nation.
Yeah.
Marlin's like, don't sing.
So,
That's what Marlin's saying. I'm going to get that song stuck in my head is what he's saying. Oh, it's funny. When the light comes on, the line that was cut, that was an improv by Ellen DeGeneres, it was, "Grandma, is that you?" It's really fun. In the facial animation for the fish, obviously fish, well, they can't talk, obviously.
No.
Unless they're mounted on a wall and they're electronic. Fish don't talk. So, kind of keep with the animation, they study dogs with the facial similarities, particularly with the eyes, because, fish, for how they blink and emote. It's really mostly in the eyebrows, the acting.
Yeah.
They're studying things because dogs can't blink, they just move their eyebrows. And here's the closest thing to a monster we have in real life, an anglerfish.
Oh god.
This is basically the only real villain in the movie.
Really?
I mean, Darla's just kind of a plot device villain. That it's kind of like Sid. That technically she's not a villain. Technically, she serves as the plot device villain. And the sharks aren't the bad guys. It's kind of like that thing that really there aren't any bad guys in this film minus this anglerfish.
Yeah.
One could argue maybe anglerfish just fighting is just doing its nature, its natural thing. You eat fish.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, Gary Rodgers really shines in this part with the sound. There have been like scenes of this where they took out all the dialogue and it's just the score and the sound effects. It's really impressive. And this has such comedy and such tension. Like her reading it's an important thing for her. This is what she gravitates towards. It's like even when she kind of breaks up with Marlon at the end of this thing. She remembers this is what she clings to, reading this mask. This is her basically committing something to memory. Comedic fashion, mind you. Marlon's doing battle with this thing in the back. Wallaby Way. P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way.
Way, Sydney. And there is no P. Sherman at 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Wonder why they went with that.
There is no such address, but I think it's to emphasize, this film is based in Australia.
This is funny, though. I'm dead. I've died. Just that goes to pure light. They actually considered taking the scene out for a bit because they feared it was a little too scary for the kiddies. They had a focus group. Well, keep in mind. Let me finish. They had a focus group, so they had like an audience, and like there was the mother saying, "Yeah, it's a little scary. I'm wondering about my kids if they get scared by this." But then there was this really passionate fellow saying, "If you tone down the anglerfish, it's like you're toning down nature itself." And how can you argue with that logic? Not to make fun of the guy. I'm just saying this is how they tell the story. I'm just quoting it. But yeah, glad they kept it in. It's a good action-packed scene with a lot of comedy to it. Now the initiation sequence. How do you feel about this scene, Magpie?
Oh, yes. It's a little bit over the top, but that's cool.
Yep.
What's his name?
Yeah, this it was inspired by. I'm sorry, not inspired by. It's they came up with this. Pete Docter, Andrew Stanton, and Leon Cruz came up with this on a road trip. They would take road trips. They would just basically drive to California back and forth for the recording studios. The recording studio back to Pixar, and they would drive instead of fly. And when they do that, they would have stop for fast food, and they would just talk over the story, and they would come up with some pitches like this, the initiation sequence. Also, these tiki heads that just went by, two of them. They're modeled after people at Pixar. I know one of them's Pete Sohn. The one very to the left is Pete Sohn. Then Ricky Nerva's in the middle. Not sure who the third. I forget who the third one is, but yeah, little caricatures. It's funny Nemo's name, considering their plan. Shark bait. Ooh ha ha.
You know what I like about this movie too? There's a lot of Australian actors doing voices in it, and considering that it is and it's supposed to be in Australia, I'm glad that they didn't just find people to impersonate Aussie accents.
I'm so glad you brought that up because it was kind of in animation they have to do scratch, right? The
Yeah.
story guys they do scratch, so they just know where the story's going, so they can plot out. The video, they'll tape and just show it to the actors and stuff, so they know like what's happening in the scene. And they have to show their horrible Australian accents to these Australian actors. It's a funny experience. The Ring of Fire. It's like this kind of it's like a friendly hazing ritual he's going through. But really, what this does, it serves a major plot point. This is the tank gang building trust and friendship with Nemo. That, okay, Nemo's going to take part in a very dangerous, risky plan. And they can't just throw him into that. They got to build the trust. Say, you're part of the gang. You're part of the family now. We welcome you into the group. And it's also, it's building friendships. Like kids in a clubhouse. Plus, it's funny, just flies through all the bubbles, and they treat that as the Ring of Fire. And this is coming up is the David Fincher escape plan. It's modeled after the David Fincher films. In animation, you can move the camera literally anywhere, and really Pixar has been kind of traditional with their placement of the camera. Right here, they kind of play with it a bit, and it's hysterical. It's good exposition, though. That David Fincher escape line. It's like quick, clear, to the point, and hilarious. And look out for the Pizza Planet truck. It's when he's going down the street as a baggie. You'll pass him as he's traveling as a baggie. See, right now he's in the baggie. He's rolling down the canopy. There's the Pizza Planet truck, and he's rolling into the ocean. It's foolproof, to quote Gil. No offense, Gil. You're not the best swimmer, says Gurgle. Again, this is Nemo. He's given more reign to do some risky stuff, something his father would never allow. That's kind of what Gil's role is. He's kind of serving as the parental figure, the parental mentor figure that's kind of giving Nemo a chance to do stuff. He's giving him maybe a little bit too much free rein, to the point that he would be put in danger. So again, it's just showing Nemo that you have to have some limitations. You can't just do everything you want. Because again, he is a kid. Like kids, they want to do everything, but he can't do everything. Like, a 4-year-old can't drive a car at that age. Not safe.
No.
Here's the School of Fish. We are at the School of Fish scene.
Oh, Ellen. No wonder she could remember that when she came back to Australia. All she could say was she had to keep saying, "P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney."
I like how nice Marlon's being about it. He's trying to lose this fish because she's basically delaying him and putting him in some situations. He's like, "You're just one of those delay fish. Everyone likes delay fish. It's just I need to get where I'm going." And that is a good line by her saying, men looking always ask. Why don't you ask for directions, you men? It's funny. Men never ask for directions. We know where we're going, unless we're completely lost.
Yeah,
which happens often. Anyway, yeah, you feel for the Marlon character. He just wants to find his son badly, and it's just he can't. Dory is a delay fish. Yet she has a very crucial piece of information. P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney. And guess who this voice actor is, Magpie? That's the School of Fish.
Yeah. Who is it? Sorry.
John Ratzenberg. He's the Pixar good luck charm in every film. Voice of Ham the Piggy Bank, P.T. Flea, the Abominable Snowman, and now the School of Fish. He's in every Pixar film. Poor Marlon, being knocked by these fish. Just funny, they're trying to entertain Dory by giving her a charade show. Oh, that, by the way, this simulator for all those fish morphing into all sorts of different shapes, and just
Yeah.
any real big crowd shots for fish, basically where the point where they're being shoved into a giant net at the end. It's this tool called Pisces. They named it Pisces, for fish. It's just basically you can put all the fish and you just clip some out to the scene so they can just act on their own, so you have to animate every individual fish. So, like, these guys, you can tell these fish know what they're doing, like they're all swimming in the same sink or, different sink to themselves. Yeah, this is a great exposition. Hear about, like, where they're going. The way a scene like this would go, Magpie, is you have the voice first, then the board. You board the story for the animation so they know what it looks like. Then the layout. Because it's anime, but there's no movement to it. Then the animation, you refine everything. Then you add the lighting, and then final the shot. You got that, kiddies?
Yeah.
That's how animation works.
Yeah. Despite what you saw in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes. It's wrong in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Yeah, good idea, giving Dory the important information here about, remember, go through the trench. I do genuinely mean that, though. It's a good idea to give the unreliable character, the important information, so Marlon would question whether or not to listen to it, even though it looks like completely dangerous going down and everything. Would you go down this trench, Magpie?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, yeah. So if you were
Yeah.
Marlon, would you go down this trench?
Probably you are.
I mean, if you're Marlon. I mean, going through this dangerous-looking trench, if you're Marlon, which he doesn't. Yeah, it's just it's an interesting plot device, is what I'm saying. That Dory, it's the unreliable source saying, "Yeah, we should. I feel we should go through it. I'm telling you, buddy, we should go through this." Saying, "No, let's avoid going through the place that says it reeks of death. Let's go above. See? Oh, look, something shiny. Where? There's the EAC. The moral of the story, kids: don't take shortcuts."
Yeah.
Oh, there's Squishy. That's a David Reynolds line. Squishy. My little Squishy. Again, that's the cost of his overprotectiveness. It lands him into an even more dangerous spot. So that's Marlon's arc there. He's learning to ease up a little. So even if you're overly cautious, it can land you in some hot water, like this scene right here. That's what this scene epitomizes.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this scene epitomizes. This is terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's beautiful yet terrifying.
I know they aren't, but man, it would have been even more scary if they were box jellyfish.
Yeah, box jellyfish. Yeah. If
Yeah,
they once cross your heart and you die. But yeah, it's beautiful as it is deadly. Dangerous,
Oh.
But it's an extremely tough shot, by the way. To get these jellyfish working. You can't just go across the counter and buy eye jelly. It doesn't work like that. It's extremely tough. Again, I like how you get to see in this scene Marlon's change. He starts to change, starts to ease up. He's having fun as he's going through this merry chase with Dory through the jellyfish and bouncing on the top. So, it's a fun looking scene, isn't it? After you get past how terrifying it is at first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's Marlon. Again, the cost of Marlon lighting up and having fun. We're yay for Marlon. But there's the sad oh no moment coming up. He's saying, eat my bubbles. We don't even recognize this guy. This isn't the Marlon we know, but hey, good for him. He's changing for the better. Saying, oh no. You have to set him back. Again, it's kind of that terrifying moment. It takes you back to the beginning. Like, oh no, I'm alone again. That's not good. Would you like to comment on this scene, Meg?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm really enjoying it. This is one of my favorite scenes.
I know, I love the ending of this scene so much. Like, right here, he's carrying Dory out. And
yeah.
You feel bad for Dory. She's unconscious. You say,
yeah.
Where does P. Sherman live? I'll be away, Sydney. I love this right here. It's just showing how heroic Marlin is, despite his fears. So yeah, and he's a good father. He's just really a brave guy when it comes down to it. Stay awake. I love that part. Just him to like, despite being shocked the crap out of. Because remember, he's a clownfish and he lives in an anemone. The point of the anemone is that it stings intruders, so they can't get in. The clownfish are more resistant to the sting, so they don't, so they can actually tolerate it. But still, this is a lot of jellyfish tendrils, so it's not a pleasant experience. You know, you feel.
Yeah, it's very
such a heroic scene. It just jazzes me up every time I see it. It's just so awesome.
Another one of my favorite bits that is coming up. Yeah. Oh, that's a great shot of Sydney, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I can see Centerpoint Tower.
Yep, and it's this is a cool scene, the escape, well, the failed escape. Here, and that's another great transition, by the way, as Marlin's like passing out after this great heroic act. I'm sorry, I just love that scene. He's, he's saying Nemo, and then we see Nemo, and there's the reflection shot when we saw him. They almost forgot to use the reflection technology, because that was something they had to figure out. And they, like the 11th hour, they had to add some of that. Wait, we did some reflection tests. We don't want that to go to waste. Well, I mean, it's coming up, but I mean, it's like just the shot of this Nemo going. You go inside the tank. It's like an old film school trick in computer animation. But yeah, the escape plan. Would you like to cover this scene?
Yeah, I love this.
Cover what's going on. Give the audience some play-by-play.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Nemo's, Marlin has to throw a rock in. Oh no.
Gill's thrown a pebble into the little filter chamber, and Nemo has to jam it into the little rotor.
Yes, to make
it stop.
To make it stop. So it gets dirty for them. So they can. Yeah, it's in the.
It's in the David Fincher escape plan. So everything's going according to plan. But by the way, they did a lot of research for this. So they literally bought aquariums and then deconstructed them to figure out if this could happen, and it is possible. So this plan would work in theory. This plan would work. Sure, it kind of depends on the consistency of pebbles, but in theory, barring that reality, it is plausible. If fish could be sentient and do that stuff. So I'm impressed by the amount of research and logic they got. But yeah, this is terrifying. This amount of panic that the fish almost ends Nemo here. I love how instantly they come to his rescue there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take away from you, Magpie. Would you like?
Yeah, sorry. It is a really intense scene here. It's kind of like that scene. It reminds me of that scene in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where they're heading straight towards the fan.
Yep. And again,
the same principle.
And again, this is just showing how much of a reverse Gil is from Marlin. And I like that moment where, Gil just kind of realizes, oh, I put this kid in danger. I didn't mean to do that. It's like Gil, again, it's not that Gil's an unlikable character. Originally, he was in the script, actually. Originally, he was manipulating Nemo. He lied to him, saying, I'm getting back to my family. He was reading from, like, a kid's book that was in the dentist's office. Like, a father would read to his kid, saying, and Lester, Linus, and Lulu. Lulu? It's my name, don't worry. Anyway, it's just this little sequence. It was basically him lying a backstory to Nemo so he could get back to the ocean.
Hey!
There's Crush.
Dude! I love that. I love these turtles. Me and my mum quote them all the time.
Yep.
Where it was like, whoa, and whoa, and whoa.
Would you like to get ready to have your mind blown, Magpie? That's the director as Crush.
Oh,
That's
cool.
Andrew Stanton doing a surfer voice for Crush. Mr. Awesome. Turtle is my father. Yep. But yeah, again, just briefly on Gil again. I love that moment of realization that we like Gil. He's just realizing how reckless he can be, and reckless his pursuit of freedom put Nemo in danger, and he didn't mean to. But again, that's just showing the cost of too much freedom. Too much freedom is dangerous. I like how that message gets across for the kids out there. You need the right amount of balance. Again, he just did the scratch for Crush, and they loved it so much. It was just so funny. They let the voice stay for the recording.
Mm.
The EAC. Would you like to give some exposition on the EAC right here for the folks out there, if anything else is left? On the East Australian Current, I mean.
Yeah. This is a real thing. From what I understand, yeah, there is a lot of current going up the Australian coast because this is what I believe it is what they use for the Sydney to Hobart yacht race. They just
and it's nice.
they flow they flow up there so fast, and yeah, there are a lot of these things there around. They actually used something similar to that actually helped them discover Australia, and it wasn't discovered by the English. It was actually discovered by the Dutch. Sorry, that's the West Coast.
Yeah.
Similar situation. They would go from the Cape of Good Hope all the way pretty much, and then occasionally they would bump into Australia.
Yeah, it's nice how even the detail like the water is a different color because like a difference in temperature.
Mm.
And this turtle migrating thing, and some people say, turtles never travel together, but it's not exactly said they don't meet up at some point again. So it's kind of just it's technically it's not scientifically proven, so they allowed it in this film. They took note of it though, so they just allowed it. So you have this great scene here with these two parents. They're in a meeting. It's kind of Marlon does learn from Crush in the scene. It's a very important scene. It's him.
Yeah.
It's like he meets a parent with a different philosophy, and also it's a reward for our heroes here. After all that struggle with the jellyfish, now they're being rewarded with like a nice easy trip to the through the EAC.
I guess they could have used whales, but it wouldn't have been the same thing.
Oh, it wouldn't have been the same thing because apparently whales don't really talk. Well, unless you speak whale, you have to speak whale to talk to whales. But yeah, he's learning from Crush. He's basically learning that you can't just shelter kids. You have to let them experience things. Which is what he does when you see Squirt, flying back into the EAC. Swimming back into the EAC. Squirt is voiced by Nick Bird. Nick Bird is Brad Bird's son, his youngest son.
Ah, awesome.
And also, it was this funny experience. Bob Peterson was asking him after he was in the record booth, saying, "Oh, you having fun here? Doing the voice of Squirt?" He says, "Money, money, money, my money." He was told by the middle, I believe the middle child, Michael.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, not the middle child, the oldest child, Michael, to say money, 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 money. He was like, he told the story of Brad Bird. Bob Peterson will say, Brad Bird says, "Michael." It's funny. Yeah. Again, it's nice how the news travels here. It's a great bit of exposition. You see how it travels, and it's the film. It's the film getting back on track after this nice easy scene. And this turtle right here talking to the fish, that's Ben Stanton. That's Andrew Stanton's son.
Oh, okay.
Andrew Stanton's these lobsters coming out. It says it was wicked dark down there. That's Andrew Stanton also, because he's from Massachusetts. And they I'm sorry, when I say when the film gets back on track, I mean that for a while Nemo, they weren't sure where Nemo was going. It was like they got in one night, it was just kind of they looked over the story and they're just kind of getting back enthusiastic about the film again. It was like the film was kind of dropping off a bit and they had to rework that opening I mentioned. But this scene right here, just kind of that build up to getting the news across the ocean to Nemo. That's when they really found their fire again. They were just kind of getting it. Yeah, it was really when the film got back on track. In production, I mean, sorry.
I should mention that me and my mum quote the seagulls all the time. We go, mine, 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 mine.
Would you like to hear some information on the seagulls?
Apart from the fact that they're pretty much like that in Australia. Mine, 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 mine.
Yes. Ralph Ralph Eggleston, he came up with the idea that they would say mine. They were pitching to it like an art department color screening. Andrew Stanley heard that, and he just ran to the other story guys, saying, "I just got it right. This is a great idea." And I think Orrin Jacobs, he drew exactly what they would look like. Or there's like a little drawing that just stayed till the final design of the seagulls, and Andrew Stanton does the voice of all the seagulls, saying "mine." So, yeah, seagulls are annoying. I just got back from a spot with seagulls, and yeah, they I hate how low they fly, but they will do that. They're desperate little buggers, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. They're in my town all the time, and we're pretty far away. And we're not that far away from the beach, but we're far enough away that we should not be dealing with seagulls.
Yep. By the way, I like how, I think it's past, but I love how, slaps the back of the head of Gurgle. He's like saying, "Don't tell him that he tries to spell Darla." He says, "I know you're talking about Darla." And just Brad Garrett's character, Blow, just slaps him back. "What's wrong with you, man?" Cracks me up. Again, here's that great payoff to all that just builds the father-son information. And it's just punctuated perfectly by that Thomas Newman score, just like that the egg theme comes back again, the Nemo theme. It's like father and son both want to meet right now. He knows that the father's looking for him, and he's just determined to get out of there now. Despite the terrifying failure, he's inspired now as much as the father's inspired to find Nemo. It's a real moving scene. This he took on 3 sharks. 4,800 teeth. I love how he knows that because they're in a dentist office. Again, the score is just great here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just great. Just the reaction on Nemo's face after hearing all this and that score building right behind him. Again, Nemo's a fish with a mission right now.
Yeah.
Actually, there's the calendar on the wall over there. They kind of have the calendar and the picture of Darla, if you look.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's something. There's the look on Nemo's face as he shoves that pebble in there. I love the payoff here. Like, they think it got him.
Yeah, I love that.
I love how gurgled a germaphobe fish. I love that.
Yeah, I love that idea.
He's pointing out that plot point, and Gil also pointed out the plot point that all the drains lead to the ocean. All the drains lead to the ocean. He says like a human's mouth, like a dog's mouth, is cleaner than a human's mouth. Or no, it's like the toilet's cleaner than a human's mouth, I think is what he said. Mm-hmm. I like how they played the EAC like a highway.
Yeah.
Like I-95. Exit's coming up, man. This whole Exit Buddy speech cracks me up by Squirt.
Is it like Thunder Buddies?
Yeah. Do you have your Exit Buddy? This Dory just grabs Marley's like trying to inch away from her a little. Good afternoon. The line that cracks me up is what Marlin says after Squirt has his little spiel here. So right here he says this line. "It's like he's trying to speak to me. I know it." I love it. The line cracks me up. Hey, Magpie.
Yeah?
Did you hear from Sandy Plankton that sea turtles can grow old to 150?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Think it's true?
I think it is true, because turtles do grow up to be very old.
Wrong, it's not. They grow older than 150.
Yeah.
And there's 150 and still young. That's a nice bit right there. He's like, he has that information to cling to, so he can tell Nemo that little conversation you kind of shrug off in the day. It was little human moments, or little fish moments in this case. The little moments that you just kind of shrug off and he's something to cling on to. It's like, I'm gonna tell him that. I'm gonna find him and I'm gonna tell him. It's just that bit of confidence booster, you know. They grow older than 150. Sea turtle is 150. I'm sorry, Sandy Plankton was 100. She said 100 years old. He was 150 and still young. Sorry. That's you know, look at now Marlin's starting to enjoy life, and he's just saying, "Yep, we're gonna go down." Dory's saying, "We're gonna go down there." He says, "Yep." He's determined. He says, "We're going to find him, or we're going down there." Just the idea they would play I Spy. And they've been playing I Spy for hours, and the short-term memory fish just keeps coming up with the same thing. Hey, Magpie.
Yeah.
I spy with my little eye something orange.
Yeah, I think it's Marlin.
How do you do that, man?
I'm just that awesome. Huh. How are you? Bet you didn't know I spoke well.
You can speak well. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we see it's... Ella Jarrett's is so awesome. You know, they had to figure out how to speak whale. Well, they were thinking first there's going to be an actual whale language. Then it was just kind of devolved into this was even funnier. It's just English so the audience can know what it is, but it's just sounding like a whale. But Ellen DeGeneres, her neighbor played whale sounds. She didn't question it at all. She didn't pause. She just went with it and said, "Okay, speaking whale, I can do that." That's also a nice little insert shot right there. Just him looking at the scar, the burn, not the burn, the sting marks on Dory right there. Just saying, you know, trust me. Says, okay, because I didn't trust you before. I'm going to trust you now. It's a great visual bit of storytelling right there.
Mm. Yes.
Hilarious. She can't get Nemo's name right. Your son Bingo, Nemo. Chico, Nemo. I think the I Spy was a Jeff Pigeon gag, by the way. I don't think that's Dory. I'm a little fella. I don't think that's a little fella. Now you're speaking whale. Are you that ahead of me? You were speaking whale, or are you just preparing for it?
No, it's the news coming up.
You know what's funny? I'm watching this on subtitles. It says mooing.
Can
you give us? Well, by the way, this bit with the whale, it's based off, and there's an animation test. It was actually worked into a trailer, like an early trailer for Nemo. Because basically, it's a marlin. He's like going through to test the sand and test the coral reef. He's like swimming through the stuff and getting the shadows right. And this giant whale comes up from behind him. The whale comes up from behind him and he like swishes him out of the way. After the whale passes, hey, you cut me off. That's sort of like, hey, watch it. Now in the trailers, however, you see for Nemo, the trailers, the whale comes from the front. They see Krill, says, "Krill, swim away!" And then they get sucked into the front, so they switch it back to the animation test for that, when they get sucked in there, which is a big, showing how fast a whale can travel, by the way. That whale made some good time. Jock with the little goatee. A scum angel. Gurgle terrified. Poor Bubbles. Can't find her sister Flo. This is a clever poo joke. And I like how Gurgle kind of calls him on it. Like right here. Whoa, that's disgusting. Well, I'm sorry, I mean, don't you realize we're swimming in our own He's about to say it, but it's funny. You know how careless the dentist is, just wipes it on the kid.
That's a great shot of Sydney. It's not a bad animation of the Harbour Bridge either. You know, I've I've never actually lived in Sydney itself, but I lived close to it, and I've never been to the top of the Harbour Bridge.
Oh,
something over.
Would you like to know who does the voice of the dentist?
Who does the voice of the dentist? Because I was just about to ask that.
Bill Hunter.
Yeah, okay, yeah, this is officially an Australian movie now.
Yep.
Because there's a guy, an actor, a comedian by the name of Mick Malloy, and he puts him in all his movies. Because he doesn't feel it's an Australian movie unless Bill Hunter's in it.
There's actually one more Australian cast member left. You'll see when he comes up. It's a small role, but literally a small role.
Mm-hmm.
Look how great that whale looks. Just this beautiful looking movie, isn't it? All the little particles in the water. It just looks so detailed and so good looking. Again, that score is a nice transition into the whale. It's kind of like this whole whale thing kind of reminds me of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Inside the whale. It's a good set.
Not like Jonah and the Whale?
Well, I'm thinking more Pinocchio because it's Disney affiliated in some way. Yeah. Even the little detail of these like teeth bristles. Like it's supposed, I don't forget if it's supposed to be teeth, but it looks like bristles from the mouth of this whale.
Yeah.
And like the foam particle, that's the particle system that worked by the way for the foam. The white stuff on the surface. They're like when the wave machine effect goes. I like the little detail that the water is going down.
Love all it. This movie just has all those nice little details.
Oh yeah, that's right. They travel to the whale, and this is so. You feel so bad for Mars. I have to tell him how old sea turtles are. It's like Woody's drive in the first. It's like Woody's drive in the first Toy Story to get back to Andy. Sully's drive to find Boo, to save Boo, and here it's to find his son. And this is like I call this the Angel of Mercy shot with Dory. See how she just kind of flies in and says, "There, we'll be okay." It's actually mirrored from when she first met him because she literally does that exact same float down. Just kind of floats down there to get up against the marlin who's like hit a rock, or in this case hit a whale. Saying, there, what's wrong, little guy? Because you said that when she first met him, so it was a nice mirroring of that occurrence here. Again, she has short-term memory, so it's probably intentional. Calls Nemo Harpo. Now this is a great scene right here. The tongue. Yeah, it's kind of playing into that whole jellyfish thing again. It's an unreliable source, and he has to learn to trust that source. What's that noise? And the water's starting to drain. Water's going down. That's not good. I think it's the first time we've been inside a computer-generated whale. Again, short of Pinocchio, I don't think we've really been inside a whale for an animated film.
No.
He wants back to the throat, or he wants a root beer float. How do I taste, Moby? Do I taste good? Albert Brooks. He brought so much to this role. He did. Look at the sheer power of this tongue, Magpie.
Yeah.
It's the sheer force. You're showing the scale of this thing. And again, this water, there's the particle system for water in this scene right here. It's basically, what it looks like in the layout is basically a bunch of little dots flying down, like a ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese's or something. It's what it looks like before they kind of rendered the. And it goes like a bunch of molecules, really. Oh, but yeah, I love how he calls her Nemo. Again, she's like the surrogate child in this. He's kind of
Sydney.
Yeah.
Sydney.
Again, you're ahead of me now.
Oh, okay.
Pause to the harbor. Pause the harbor.
Yeah.
Now this is a great bit right here saying, how do you know something bad's not going to happen? He says, I don't. That's Marlon's arc right there. I have to. I don't know if something bad's going to happen. And now they just dropped. Now the blowhole. Then the. Again, sheer scale of this thing. They're in the water. We're alive! Woohoo! Okay, now they're in the harbor. It says, look, Sydney!
Yeah. I have to correct something. I don't think I've ever actually seen a Sydney ferry with Sydney Express written on it.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, Mac, but a lot of these names are animation jokes, or like bleep the camera stuff. It's the first boat name is called the Aeolus 3.
Mm.
And that's named after Andrew Stanton's father's boat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
He at the 11th hour, he had to add that in there, or else he was afraid to be disowned. It's a joke. But, I love how he thanks him in whale, and Dory says, wait, you speak whale? Now, this is almost a semi-matchstick moment. The whole question, how will they get up there to that dentist office? You're thinking of it as the audience, but it's not exactly the moment. Just kind of like what will happen. This is also kind of a matchstick moment here. This whole scene is kind of a matchstick moment, to be honest with you. For those that don't know, matchstick moment that you don't know what's going to happen next. Things are taking a turn. We don't know.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Blue Dragon 5 has done one in all the Pixar films, haven't you?
Yep.
All the matchstick moments.
Yep.
So do check that video out.
Yep.
I do recommend it.
This is funny. Just Austin Pendleton has this line saying, "Curse you, aqua scum!" Again, this is. I love just the group, ooh, as it scans them. Again, things are going south, and they had that Oscar award-winning actress, Allison Janney, reading, Emmy award-winning actress, Allison Janney is reading Aqua Scum Manual. It's funny. Okay, now this is a bit that's really important. Look at this. When he scoops Nemo up here.
Yeah.
This is great, right here. This whole Gil's idea here is swim down. I love this idea, and I love how it comes into play later. This is basically going to save a whole bunch of fish. That move right there. Here we go. Here's the matchstick moment. Okay, we're expecting Nemo to go with a plan, roll out. Not Transformers, roll out. Okay, he's like getting to the window. The dentist gets him, puts him in a plastic container. This is completely unprecedented. And now Nemo's panicked. I don't want to go belly up. You won't go belly up, Sharkbait, I promise. Everything's going to be okay. Then the psycho music kicks in. Darla! Oh, it's just... This whole sequence is like, you have no idea
the
where...
The surly mermaid.
Yep, that's one right there. I think there's one that says for the birds. Dory, wake up. Duck! It's not a duck. It's a pelican! So funny. They tried to kind of have this dynamic playing with this bird right here that's Nigel's friend. He's kind of like Nigel's fastidious. This guy's kind of the Oscar, and kind of a messy guy. Oh, by the way, I just love that moment where Marlon says, "Stop! I didn't come all this way to be eaten." Just like he stops it in the throat. That's awesome. He's come full circle. This guy's not afraid of anything. He's gonna bust into that dentist's office. He's gonna save his son. He doesn't care what he has to go through. I mean, it's an impossibility. Fish getting from the harbor to the dentist office. How's he gonna do it? But it's great. Yeah, Gerald's the other gull's name. Yep.
Oh yeah, I remember this from all the ads. Mine?
Yeah. How is... Oh, right here's that... they got a little too detailed with that. The signal to the birds.
Yeah.
Don't make any sudden moves. Hop inside my mouth if you want to live. Hop into your mouth. How does that make me live?
Ah.
Get you to your son, Nemo. There's just this kind of a disturbing image, seeing Dory being pulled in all those directions coming up.
Oh. What is it? What is it? Australia Day or something? Because there's all those sailboats out there in the harbour.
Yep. Well, it might be a holiday.
Yeah. Well, no, not. It's really weird to see that many sailboats out there. Yeah, specifically in the harbour.
Yep. Again, this chase sequence here around the harbor. Originally, you're going to appreciate this. Originally, this is in the city. Now they decided not to go with that because they wanted to show, they have to signal to the audience that they're in Sydney, so they have to show the landmarks off, like the opera ball. So you have to show, just showcase the aspects of Sydney so people know where you are, so it's not just in any city. So that was for Sydney's benefit.
Yeah, I can even tell you where they're supposed to be.
Where?
They're supposed to be on the south, in South Sydney, because no, it'd probably be North Sydney. Sorry, North Sydney, because that you're seeing the city itself.
Oh, by the way, there's something, I think I'm going to make a video about this at some point. But in this, there's a thing in the Pixar film starting from Monsters Inc. called Yeti's Cave. Now, Yeti's Cave is the sequence the animators and the production guys and everyone in all cylinders, especially the story guys, they dread because it's going to be so hard to get right. Board it and come up with the idea. The sequences can be so hard to pull off. This is it, the whole dentist office sequence here. It's called Yeti's Cave, and it's like, it was hard to. They kept going through so many revisions and changes in Monsters Inc. with Yeti's Cave, and with here it's a nickname called Yeti's Cave for the hardest sequence in the movie. That was this. There's an Incredibles Easter egg. Starting in Monsters Inc., they started to hint at the next. They started hinting at they put Easter eggs that hint at the next Pixar film. And that's one. The Incredibles. Kids reading an Incredibles comic book.
Okay.
Okay. This is. I love how clever Nemo is, and that you try playing belly up so you get flushed, so you get flushed. Fortunately, Dennis isn't smart enough, and he just says he's going to throw him away. Oh no! Now he's in Darla's hands. I love how Gil comes to the rescue. How Gil saves Nemo here. Oh, by the way, Lulu Eberstein does the voice of this little girl. She's not an actress. She's the kid that is brought into the voice. She's a sweet girl. She asked the directors for stickers, and they sent it to her. But yeah, just this scene is action packed, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Definitely.
Again, yeah, this whole sequence and Gil. I'm sorry I mismentioned this, but yeah, I love how Gil saves Nemo here. It's paying off friendship. Gil is such a likable character. His relationship with Nemo is kind of like his relationship with Charlie Sheen in Platoon a little bit. He's taking the guy under his wing, and they bonded. That's what he's doing. Yeah. All drains lead to the ocean. Now, I'm sure some people are probably wondering, would this actually work? Pixar, to their credit, they went to the San Francisco sewage treatment plant. Went around and they did research, seeing if they were embarrassed to ask the question, if a little fish got flushed, could he survive going through all the sewage treatment stuff? Technically, it's a no. But there was a scene where they showed it in animation how he could survive, and they made in the animation, in the board of that scene, it looked practical. In real life, no. It's so kids. That's no. If don't do it to your fish just to liberate them. Okay, so don't. Yeah, if you feel your tank fish are being just going insane, being in the tank, don't flush them because in real life it's not a pleasant experience. What's going to happen to them? They wouldn't survive. They wouldn't survive, and it'd be a fate that's much crueler than death. The color palettes for this scene were really beautiful. They had this somber color palette by Ralph Eggleston with the art team. Again, the guy came up with the seagull mine ideas. Really, it's you see the color palette, all the different shades of water. Like here, it's kind of greenish for the bay, and just somber with the mood. Sad. This is a sad scene right here. You feel so bad for Marlon that he doesn't know his son's alive right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say too. That's probably close to what the bottom of the Sydney Harbour looks like. About that kind of color.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is a sad goodbye, and a little bit of trivia. Andrew Stan, he didn't know how Ellen DeGeneres is going to take this scene. You know, you don't know if she's going to be she's good at comedy. He thinks, like, it's a logical estimation. You know, comedy hard. I mean, comedy easy, drama hard for comedians. Or really funny people. But, you know, she did this, they recorded her, like, the last minute of the session just to kind of get it out there. You're going to bring her in for a second session. She records it once, and she knocks it out of the ballpark. Everyone's crying. You know, she's like this kind of, like, okay, that was good. You come back if you'd like to do it again, you know, for a second time. He says, yeah. And they recorded this 3 times, just 3 times, and they used the second tape because it's kind of after that emotional read. And it's kind of like now she's experienced emotion. So like now she knows, in retrospect, like, how bad she feels, like how sad she feels. And like that's her way of saying, "I need you to feel whole," is what she's saying in that scene. It's just so powerful. Wouldn't you agree, Magpie?
Yeah.
She has such a great dramatic scene right there of her being so emotional that she wants she doesn't want Marlon to leave her. Sad. She's such an innocent and lovable character. You don't want her to feel sad.
Mm.
Now it's Nemo in the same position as father. Dad! Mm. And this is great. He finds her like Marlon, he finds Dory on his own, looking for the other party. And it's so sweet that she doesn't know who he is. She forgot who he is.
I love that. Is it your dad?
You know, this is kind of a sad. For a second, it's kind of a sad thing that after that goodbye, she's just stuck. After this whole journey, she's in an unfamiliar place she knows nothing about, and she has no way of getting anywhere. She's like perpetually going to be stuck in that area because she has no memory now because Marlon has left her. It's kind of sad when you think about it. But luckily, she has some reconciliation here, so that's good. You know, she yeah. Okay, is he your dad or my dad? My dad. Dad! Here we go. Here's the kicker. Sherman. Sydney. He, Sherman, Ford 2, Wallaby Way, and all the shots from the film simultaneously. It's you, you're Nemo.
Who does the voice of that the crab?
Okay, that's Roe McManus.
Rove McManus?
Yes.
Oh,
that's who it is. That's the last Australian.
Yeah, Rove. Rove is he
radio
used to,
personality, right?
No, oh well, yeah. But he used to do a show out here. It was called Rove Live, and then it got shortened down to Rove. Poor guy, his wife passed away.
Yeah.
It's all right. He rebounded back, got remarried. He married one of the most beautiful women in Australia. So he bounced back. And by the way, the wife that did pass away died from breast cancer. It was a horrible way to go. But yeah, he's very famous. A big wrestling fan like me.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to mention, Dory was a fish with a mission just now, but now we're so happy for Marlon and Nemo. They're back. They found each other, but unfortunately that's punctuated with something very scary. They're on the fishing grounds now. All the codfish are being caught. This is based off a real story, by the way. This whole thing with the codfish. There was Andrew Stan was reading about he's reading this article and he heard this codfish tipped over, capsized the boat completely. Because they all swam down. That's why I put in the little thing of them swimming down the dentist tank. And that's why, that's where the idea came from here. And now, remember what I was saying in the beginning about that whole intercutting of the flashbacks? But before that, let me just mention, Nemo. Again, this is kind of Nemo and Marlon's arcs both kind of at the same time unfolding here.
Yeah.
They both have to learn from they have to kind of be like each other, Nemo's taking some responsibility here, doing it. Marlin has to let him do that. Lucky Finn, hurry now, go. I'm sorry, back to what I was saying. Yeah, it's originally this scene was much more tension filled. It was like as this was happening, Marlin was like tension was building, the net's going up, saying swim down, and as like in between each swim down, you saw a flash of after Marlin's like before Marlin gets knocked out, he's swimming. After he's just swimming, and the barracuda is trying to eat him. And it's like each swim down is like a snap of the jaw, cut the swim down, cut to it's like a snap of the jaw, and basically it ends with the relief as the net's like finally tipping the boat over. Marlin gets into the enemy, and then the thing gets zapped the crap out of, and it leaves. So that was originally there was a real tension. That was awesome. I would say that was the best part of the intercutting and the flashbacks. Look, in retrospect, it's kind of a shame they lost it, but it's for the better because we still get a lot of tension in this scene too. So yeah, now father and son are using both of the learners, going to save them and save a whole load of fish. You just keep swimming. That's my dad. Again, just kind of wishing your dad was Superman to an extent. Like he came across the ocean all this way for his son. And this is the pure scale of. They tip over. They tip the boat. They break the little bell off. Yeah. Also, it was Roy E. Disney request. That's Disney's nephew, Walt Disney's nephew, who was in the studio for a while. He when they went to Disney and just pitched him this, he asked them not to capsize the boat because it's bad luck, and they did. That's why the boat doesn't go completely over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And also the last flashback was in this moment. Actually, they kept this. It would flash back to this thing where he's holding the egg again.
Yeah.
But still, that's a great bit right there. And you see it mirrors the egg from the beginning. Just having the son on the ground injured, and you think, oh no. This was the last shot of the film, by the way.
Oh.
This whole bit right here is saying, I'm sorry. Then the whole high five to Lucky Finn. It was Doug Sweetland finalized this shot. He had finalized the shot because at first Nemo looked dead. The first pass of it, and he went to animation dailies. They showcased the scenes before before like it's okay to be finalized or okayed for the film. They said Nemo was just looking ahead. It was just really late at night, early in the morning. Really early in the morning. Andrew Stanton was in the studio. Everyone else has gone home. Doug Sweetland is there. He finished hasn't shown up to work yet. He stopped. He finished the shot. And he says, "I'm done." And instead of these giant bombastic mariachi parties they have after the finalization of a shot, or like when the movie's finished, particularly when the movie's finished, it was just those two. They were filled with so much energy. They were running around the studio saying, "Yeah, we finished! Yay! It's over. 4 years. It's over." I'm sorry, Magpie. You were saying?
Yeah, I love the end. You need that bit at the end to show that everything's all right, I think.
Yeah. Just
I love
father
that.
and son.
Dad, you can let go now.
Yeah. Well, now you're ahead of me again. Balls at the hug, would you? But yeah, this is just the shark bit right here. That Dory's still a member. Like, remember, fish are friends, not food. What those other fish must think. It's nice. But yeah, that was just the perfect reconciliation for father and son, just that net moment, and we get another. Pixar also after the final shot, they save their epilogues for last, like this whole scene right here, and now he's hugging him. Just the whole, I love you, Dad. They decided to bring sharks in. Originally, they were going to bring Crush and Squirt. They decided to bring Squirt in there. The epilogues and the last shot are always saved for the end. They do it somewhat chronologically in that regard. So nice. That was Ricky Nerva came up with the punchline for Marlin's joke, by the way. See, everyone's come full circle. Now Marlin's a better father for his experience. He's less overprotective. Nemo has a good sense of responsibility, know what he can do, and doesn't just write off his father as being overprotective. Magpie, I'm going to get a little somber on you after this in this bit right here. Yeah, there's the...
Yeah.
Now, this punchline's funny also, this whole Aqua Scum. The baggy plan worked, and how... The real question is, how did they break the Aqua Scum? And these epilogues are always funny, and that's like the perfect ending, just the... It's like it's a bittersweet ending. Now what? Delivered perfectly by Brad Garrett.
Okay.
And that sea turtle payoff was nice, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to talk till the end of the credits, Magpie.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, there was that sea turtle payoff was great, by the way, that whole line. I know it kind of glazed over the whole, sea turtles, I met one. They lived to be 150 years old. But Sandy Plankton, I think I traveled this whole way and not no more than Sandy Plankton.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Now I'm going to get a little... I'm sorry, you were saying?
I was going to say, you said you were going to get a little somber on me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, now I'm going to get a little somber on you. As you might have noticed, Glenn McQueen had a tribute there at the end of this film. He didn't really work on this film. He was working on the other films.
Oh, okay.
He unfortunately passed away of melanoma.
Oh.
It was he was a good man, good animator. He's most famous for animating Woody, Boo, Flick. Good man. He was. John Lasseter is quoted as saying, "He was the heart and soul of the animation department. He is not gone from us. He is alive in all of us." That was beautiful, beautiful sentence by John Lasseter. He had a daughter born before he passed away. Good man, exceptional man. In the DVD cut of this, and it's probably just a bonus feature on the Blu-ray, you can see the little tribute video to Glenn McQueen, and it's heartwarming. It is. It's a shame he's gone. It really is, but I'm glad they've taken the time to, just kind of acknowledge that. And the way they've done that is, Lightning McQueen is named after Glenn McQueen in Cars.
Not Steve McQueen.
Well, it's both, but primarily it's Glenn McQueen. It's a little bit of both, but primarily Glenn McQueen. And Pixar Canada's surname is the Glenn McQueen Institute of Animation, of computer animation. So he's from Canada. That's why. So I don't know if that influenced their decision to make it in Canada. I just know they named it after him because it is in Canada. Again, sorry if I'm getting a little maudlin on you. He's a good man.
Important.
Yeah.
Clearly an important and valuable part of the Pixar family.
Yeah, and he, again, just even punctuate, just after we get that, tribute, that always kind of gives me chills just seeing that tribute to Glenn McQueen, because it just reminds me that he's no longer around. But yeah, the right before that is the Bye Son. It's just so beautiful. The whole, you're saying that last line, just Bye Son, like Marlon's come to accept, my son's grown up. It's like, again, that's parents seeing the child grow up and get on his own a little bit. It's that thing it's just so beautiful. Really, it's just the emotion that's there. Mm. Anyway, right here, you'll notice there are no outtakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stopped doing the outtakes. Instead, they did Beyond the Sea, and they showcased some of the environments. They showcase some of the environments Beyond the Sea, and they have these the characters interacting with the credits. It was a nice thing in place of no outtakes. It's not that he doesn't like the outtakes. It's that it's just that he thinks they kind of outstayed their welcome. You don't want to overstay your welcome with the outtakes because it could get silly after a while. And he thought that Pixar is kind of, with this caliber of storytelling, Pixar is starting to get to the point where they're being taken a little more seriously. And I would agree with that. Would you, Magpie?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, and
I mean, not to say that I don't miss the outtakes. I do.
Yeah, the outtakes were great because the gag with the outtakes was that it's no one knows how these films were made, and it was just kind of messing with the audience even more. That was the initial concept. Because the first movie with outtakes was A Bug's Life because they didn't have time with Toy Story to put them on there. And a few after the film release stuff to go through here. At the wrap party for Nemo, at the final wrap party, They had sushi. They ate sushi, and there was like little Nemo, like little Nemo tags on them.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
It wasn't made from clownfish, mind you. It was just
Yeah.
little cupcake tags, Still, it was neat. They the press would ask them, "Are you gonna have sushi for the wrap party?" And he was like, "Yes, we." Do. But yeah, it was. I mentioned that it's like the most memorable. It's probably the most memorable Pixar film short of Toy Story, and something I like to mention here is that this film. This film's so powerful. This film has such a good story to it that Andrew Stanton, he when you do an animated film, you have to pitch it to the marketing guys so you can get some marketing on board and just pitch it to like a lot of people to get advertising and such, right?
Yeah.
So what Andrew Stanton did was he had to pitch in like a one sitting, like on stage in front of an audience of these guys in the El Capitan Theater. He had to pitch the whole film from the beginning to the end in front of this audience, and you know what? It captivated them even then. So I'm saying this story was so powerful. It didn't need animation. I mean, I'm saying he could just tell the story without animation. It would bring people in. This story was worth telling in spades. It really was, and I am so glad it reached fruition. It's just that powerful story. It's a father and son journey that just still stands the test of time. It's the perfect Father's Day movie. It really is. Yeah, there's a little thing at the end of the credits here, so might as well give your final thoughts, sir.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just want to bring one last thing here. See, the production babies just crossed, as did Mike Wazowski, scuba diving from Monsters Inc. But yeah, the production babies. I'm probably going to mention this on our Bugs Life commentary if we get to it.
No.
But yeah, the Pixar was the first films. Toy Story was the first film to credit the production babies. Little fun fact for you. And after that was done, all the films in the film industry started doing that.
Oh, okay.
And there's this little fish right here. What he's about to do. Look at this. He ate the anglerfish. Okay, sorry. I just mentioned the production babies. You were. I'm so sorry. Keep going with your final thoughts, sir.
Okay, my final thoughts are: I'm glad this movie was made. It's something I do what I watched repeatedly after a while with my nephew, and I do love it. I'm glad we got to do this one because this is one we were actually planning for ages. We were gonna have other people on board to do it at one stage, but unfortunately they decided to back out of it. But that's all right. I'm glad we got to do this one, man. I'm really glad. I do love it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Pixar film, but this time it did get. It does still get me, like all the Pixar films do. But I'm glad that we got to do this one because I do like it, and I'll give my rating after you give your final thoughts.
Again, this film is just. Again, it's the most important. It's the most recognizable short of Toy Story. This film. It's such a driving force. This film is probably the most Disney, and that's so magical. This film. I mean, it's recognized across the globe because it's such a powerful yet simple story. Father finding son. It's that fear that's in everyone. Losing your child, but then it's just that driving force that he finds the child. That's his drive. He's gonna find his son no matter what. Even Taken's done this, if you will. Taken's like the land version of Nemo.
Yeah.
They're saying it's just so great, this film. And the three people just made it happen, most of all. Andrew Stanton, again, these guys formerly weren't directors yet. At this point, Stanton was just starting out as director. He was just writer. You see how far they've come. These talented guys, they belonged in these spots and these positions, working on the story. They're such adept storytellers. Andrew Stanton, Bob Peterson, he's now moving on to stuff. He was voice of Mr. Ray and Roz from Monsters Inc. Lee Unkrich, editor, now director of Toy Story 3. I mean, they've gone so far, and seeing here just what they did as co-directors to this film, they punched up everything to the point of awesomeness. You know, bringing that such quality storytelling. Bob Pearson brought some comedy, Lee Unkrich brought the heart, Stanton brought the spine of the film with the comedy and the heart. Those guys just punched up the qualities, made it show even more, and the end result is something truly magical. That result is it's Finding Nemo. One of the hardest films at the time, most recognizable, was the highest grossing for a while, and was one of Pixar's biggest moneymaker. Even now, it's just, you never forget Nemo. You never do.
No.
And also, in the production babies, Ben Stanton was mentioned, so I just wanted to bring that up too.
Okay. All right. I'm going to rate this now. This is hard to rate because it is so good, but I really don't feel it's worth the 4.5. I do think it is close. It is close. I'm not gonna. I've gone back and forth on this quite a bit, but I have to give it a solid 4. But that's not to say that that's not to say that it's not. It's just not quite. It's not quite worth me giving that a little extra bit because I don't have that much nostalgia wrapped up with this, and it's not bad. It's just it's not quite worth that 4.5 that I give some of my favorite movies. It's just not. It's not flawed or anything. I just can't give it. I can't give it any higher than a 4. I'm not gonna. And most of that it's just on feeling, guys. It's not to underrate this film at all. I just don't feel it's worth that 4.5 or a 5. Because I never give away 5s. By the way, I never give away 5s out of 5s.
You know, it's funny. One could say maybe I give all these films a 5 because 5's in my name, but it's not the case. Just pure coincidence, folks. I swear to you. But yeah, it's I just came up with like the rank it out of 5 because 5 is my favorite number, but still. It's just anyway, yeah. The overall this film. I want to withdraw that statement about Ben Stanton because I just realized he was born in 1992. That's impossible. Sorry, silly me. Anyway, yeah, overall, look, to me, this is a perfect film. I find absolutely no faults with this. I think it's genuinely really heartwarming story. I respect your view, sir. It's just, I just really love this film. I think it's perfect storytelling. I can't find a fault in it. If I had to, if the gun to my head, I'm gonna die because I can't find a fault to that. I'm ranking this 5 out of 5. I really am. Again, genuine. I'm not just trying to set a precedence.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find something that you're gonna have to really rip apart. All right. We've rated. We've given our final thoughts. Now it's time for. Now I should have pointed this out at the beginning of the video, but First things first. I want to plug our new show that we're going to be doing. It's not Mystery's going to be joining us for it. But yeah, and that's going to be up. We're hoping to get the first episode out before the end of the month. But the very earliest, the very latest, it'll be out in August. But I am going to put up something that we recorded a bit earlier in the month. First, but the next Pixar film we're gonna be doing. Drum roll, please. Is Up.
Really?
Yes, we're gonna be doing Up.
Oh, my second favorite Pixar film of all time. Hooray!
Yeah, so as you can hear, Blue Dragon 5 is over the mood for this. Yes, I've literally just picked this up yesterday. So I'm gonna I have watched it before, so that's the next Pixar film we're gonna be doing.
You
So
have watched it before?
yeah, I have watched it.
Making sure, because if not, it would have to find you.
I've seen it before. But I do love it, and that one is going to be very hard for me not to give a 5 out of 5 for. But
Yeah, keep in
we'll
mind, I might have to find you depending on your rating.
Okay, so stay tuned for that, guys. Sorry about the error about halfway through the opening of this. So, but we shall return.
Yep.
Goodbye,
Remember,
everyone.
fish are friends, not food, and just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.